What a great day. I kind of feel like one of those really big motivational speakers at a huge, big conference somewhere where we just won the world championship, which I guess we kind of did, didn't we? We're on the way to doing it anyway. Michael, thank you very much. We're really blessed to have individual like Michael serving us in the state. And I'm going to talk about energy here in a little bit, and I'm going to go back to him and make some references to what he's doing. And he's the type of leader and has that combination of grace and style and extraordinary intellect that does, in fact, reflect what Texas is all about. And I want to say special thanks to each of you for being here today. As I look across this audience, and I tried to get out there and walk by and shake a few hands and say thank you, but so many of you could be in so many different places today. This is a room full of doers. This is a room full of corporate executives, individuals who truly have the ability to make a huge difference in your private lives, in your public personas from the standpoint of where you live, but you have chosen this effort to make a difference in the state that you love. And I wanted to say thank you from the depths of my heart. I can assure you that the time commitment that you have made to this, the effort that you are bringing to genuinely impact the state of Texas is going to be well worth what you've done. And thank you for not only putting these together, but I also want to add on a little bit of I don't think there's been a greater time in the history of the state to be a citizen of Texas. I was sharing with some people in California last week. We were talking about what's happening in Texas and the dynamic here. And you know, they've got their problems over there. As a matter of fact, probably within the next 30 days, you will see a study that Art Laffer has just conducted, and we're going to be rolling it out in the not too distant future, that talks, it compares the great state of Texas with the great state of California economically. It's going to be a great story. And CNBC, we saw that ad on TV. Area Development Magazine just picked us as the economic development job creation winner this year. I mean, it is a powerful story. If Barry, in 1988, a short 20 years ago, if someone had come to you and said, Texas will be the home to more Fortune 500 companies than any other state in the nation. Texas will be the #1 exporting state in the nation. Texas will create half of the jobs in America in 2008. You would have looked at them like they had a third eye in the middle of their forehead. I mean, think about 1988. Think about the economy of Texas. We were on our back. This was a state that had been devastated by the economic woes that nationally had come across and what had happened in Texas and the downturn, real estate and banking, oil and gas, which was where we had put all of our eggs. And then, by the grace of God and some hard work and some thoughtful, innovative people, today we find ourselves at this very unique place. This very unique place in time as a state that people all around, not just America, but the world, look to as a potential place to relocate, a potential place to live, because of what we have collectively done together, both the private sector, and I want to say to each member of the legislature, Donna, I know, how many members of the legislature are here? Our farmer members. Gene, thank you for being here with us today. I know there's a number of members of the legislature, and I want to give them appropriate credit. Because the fact of the matter is, in 2003, there were decisions that were made by the legislature when we faced a $10 billion budget deficit that could have been devastating to our growth. For instance, let me just give you a comparable. California today faces a $15 billion plus one-year budget deficit. They're talking about a temporary consumption tax to help fill that deficit. They're talking about raising their corporate and personal income tax anywhere between 3 and 6% to help fill that deficit. Now, what do you think the businessmen and women in California are going to do when they implement those types of taxes on an already overburdened, overtaxed, overspending legislative process? They're going to move to Texas. They're going to come to Texas. They're going to come to a place where they know that they can have the freedom to risk their capital, to have a good opportunity to have a return on that investment. And the fact of the matter is, all of those things, Michael, that you talked about, all of those accolades that we've got, and they're nice, and we are glad we've got them, but the fact is they're just another trophy on the wall. Because it's not about what you've done. Ask your daddy, was it about last year's record? No, sir. It's about what are you going to do in the future? How are you going to lay out your vision for the future of this country? And it is a powerful story that we collectively now have the ability to do because of the work that you have done. When we started this back last November, and I asked you to finish this work, I knew it would be a powerful document and talk about a host of areas. Members over the last few months in this council, you lifted the hood of our economy. You examined the various components of our economic engine. And you have affirmed a lot of the things that we did in the past. You've identified the policies, the practices, the regulations that have created this type of story for Texas, particularly over the last 5 years. And those are issues that will cause long-term impact on this state, and I think positive impact. But we shouldn't for a moment rest on our laurels, think that because we've had a lot of nice plaques to put on our wall and that we find ourselves at the top of highly technical Aggie term for apex, right? That was what I was, way up there, way up there. We're on a journey. And our journey is a destination that we find an economy that's vibrant, an economy that's competitive, a place that has the best that the world has to offer. Our destination is an economy that offers all hardworking citizens the opportunity to prosper. And one of the things I think we have to keep in mind is the world is changing. I mean, as I get to wear a lot of different hats, and Sandy, one of them, I'm the chairman of the Republican Governors Association, and I go challenge my fellow governors, and frankly, Democrat or Republican, I challenge them. And a lot of times they think I'm bragging, but I'm really not. Well, I guess I am a little bit, but I share with them what we've done in this state. I talk to them about tort reform. I talk to them about the business climate. I talk to them about deregulation of the electrical industry, Barry. I talk to them about the competitiveness that we've put in place, that we have instilled in this state, and that if they want to be competitive nationally, I tell my friend Brad Henry in Oklahoma, I said, listen, you don't want to pass tort reform up there in your state? Great, because the businesses will move to Texas. I tell Arnold, I said, look, Arnold, you don't want to cut spending? You want to raise that income tax rate? Great. I'll be out there recruiting with that message next week. He said, oh, I know you're just down there drilling offshore. And I went, yes, sir, as fast as we can, and we're going to sell it to you at a premium.